Hey, y'all, this is an improv, because you know I don't never come on this side, but I almost fell off my seat when I heard they done raided Diddy's homes. We got Justin. What's his name? Come on, help me out, Roy. What's his name?
King
in handcuffs. And where's Diddy? He left his kids for dead. What kind of daddy is that? You left your kids for dead. He knew they was coming to raid him because he wasn't there. And he just recently changed up his Instagram, talking about love. No love, Diddy. They came for you, and you left the kids there to take the fall, to get arrested. That's why, what's his name? Justin's mom was pissed at you. Yes, this is an emergency train ride. You better tell it, Emmanuel.
Tell the people, get on.
Get on. Tell the people, come on through. It's an emergency train ride. Because you know what? See, Diddy's stupid. He could have paid me to advise him. He could have just gave me, you know what, Roy? I would have took about $150,000 a year. He would have said, Diva, they coming for me. I would have said, you know what you got to do? And listen, I don't do criminal activities, but sometimes you got to endorse it.
Blow this mug up, okay?
You got to get the gasoline. You give all the house help. You give them the time off. You give them time off. He says, take a couple of days. And next thing you know, they're hearing on the news. Take a couple of days off, and you get your passport, because you don't need nothing else. You get your passport, you get your ID, and you put gasoline all around the house.
Look what Beyonce say. To the left, to the left.
You put gasoline all around the house, and you strike a match, and boom, boom.
Boom.
Star Island is gone. I would have did it to all my properties. So when they would have came and looking and searching, the best they could have charged me with was arson. And I would have took the hit. Because how does he get rid of cameras, videotapes, residue from the cocoa? How do you get rid of all of that, Roy?
People in high power.
But you got your kids getting cleaned up. King don't know nothing about that. That boy used to partying, going to Louis and Gucci, and now he got handcuffs behind his back.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's a bum daddy. He's bum. He's bum for that. He left them there. He knew they was coming for him. He knew they was coming. What you gonna do when they come for you? He ran. Where is he, Roy? Where is he?
He went over there with Russell, trying to numb your ring, can't get all his way back to life.
Bum. He's a bum. You left your kids there. Where's baby love?
Where's baby love? Okay. Child.
Now they gonna put handcuffs on baby love.
They may have had her sitting by the pool in handcuffs. Next to her mama, trying to figure out what the hell going on.
This is horrible. This is horrible. Kind of daddy is that? They came, they raided Star Island, Miami, New Jersey, wherever he laid his hat, they raided it.
And then on top of that, Diva, they've been out. They've been out here covering for him, his kids. They ain't went to the media. They've been playing their role, and this the thanks they get.
Standing there, and King looks surprised. He got his sweatpants on. He like, what's going? What happened?
They was backing him up in the driveway.
I can't do this with you, Roy. This is a serious situation.
Diddy should have been serious then and showed up to the party. Where you at? You want to be a part of all the other parties. Look, you like people being handcuffed. So why you don't want to be handcuffed, sir?
Yeah. You know what? See, listen. Little Rodney. See, you mess around. They said mess around and find out. He messed around with Little Rodney, and now he finding out. He probably was like, when they was like, oh, Little Rodney caught by his money. He said, whatever. Well, now he wish he paid him.
Little Rodney said on site every time.
On site. Yeah, poor baby love. We gotta dissect this thing. But I'm telling you, see, Little Rodney, in my mind, he's in protective custody. And he's singing like a songbird. He said, what you want to know? The Pow Pows was in this closet. He got the whole blueprint. They printed out, like you see on TV, Roy, they printed out the blueprint for Star Island. Yes, they did.
Come on for the legal pad. They got the blueprints laid out on the corner bedroom is right here.
Yeah. Where'd you see that, Little Rodney? Because we sending the feds over there. Homeland Security
got to stop from protecting us.
And go get Diddy.
Who ain't even there.
Who not there. Nowhere to be found. I hope they blocked his passport. Diddy somewhere crying. He talking about can't stop, won't stop. Well, they stopping you now. Oh, yeah, I can't do this with you.
This is why I don't come through too often, because we don't know how to act together.
No, we gotta get serious. This is serious. Homeland Security is involved. This is serious. Okay, let's do a woosah.
It's the pathology, though, for me. Iyanla, we need you to come and fix the life of Diddy and all of these kids, because it's falling apart.
Well, we gotta fix just the kids, because Diddy is beyond fixable. He is. No, listen, Warrior, when Homeland Security is involved, this is beyond. You ain't getting no plea deal. You're not getting no plea deal. You're not getting a plea deal. You're not getting none of that. No, this is Homeland Security. You done got the highest people in town. Diddy did it or did he not? Did Diddy do it or did he not? Billboard creators, when you too much. No, he guilty. Let me bring the people on in the building, y'all, because this is serious. This is messy.
Okay.
This is messy. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Tay. This is emergency train ride, people.
Hello.
Hey, listen. This is an emergency train ride, so we need y'all to buckle your seatbelts. This is an emergency train ride. The train don't never pull out at this time.
Let the people know that we are live. Hit the like button, share, do all of that stuff, y'all, because this is emergency.
This is emergency. And we got to get into it. We got to talk about how the daughters are probably at school. I would stay for the after school activities.
Every program. All of the programs, all the incentives, whatever you need me to volunteer and do, I'm here for it, because
sweep the floors in the school. This is sad.
Diddy has denied any involvement in trafficking.
Well,
I just heard it on the news. He denied it.
Well, of course he's going to deny.
Cassie too, but
of course he's going to deny. Let me go to the news. Okay.
2 and 1.
Okay, let me see. This is terrible. I feel bad for the kids. Somebody mute, because I'm hearing a background. Okay, let me see. Diddy,
sorry.
Okay, let me pull it up. Diddy, Let's see. Let's see what updated news going on. This is terrible.
Well, while you look for that, I'm gonna break it down. So
go ahead, break it
down. We're in the house, y'all, out in Los Angeles, doing their thing, kicking it, chilling it. Then boom, bang, 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 bang. A doc came on the door. And he was like, what is that? And then the police and Homeland Security and everybody and their grandmama busted up in there and said, hands up, don't shoot, okay? So they had to put their hands up like this. And then King, he came out the driveway backing out just like this, y'all. He was just like this, backing out the driveway. And then, okay, you got it.
You see there, you can see the Dodgers, the emblem, the logo on the back of those two chairs. We're about to get a statement in about, 5 minutes time, at least that's when it's been scheduled, from the MLB star and Dodgers star, new Dodgers star, Shohei Ohtani, over.
Let me go, because that's not.
Mm-hmm. So yes, people, I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, this man, he claims to love his children. He done took on all the children and been, they've been living with him for many, many years. After Kim passed away, he took on the responsibility. And so these people have entrusted their lives with you. And so now the very people that entrusted their lives with you, you're going to let them sit out on the curb with handcuffs behind their backs?
You're going to be the
hoping
guys
and praying that nothing happens?
And they're waiting for that all clear.
Listen,
and then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure for the investigators to make their way in and actually start that search.
And we should mention, thank you, Stu, that if this is in fact involving a sex trafficking investigation, we do know that according to Diddy's attorneys and the rapper himself, he has denied any wrongdoing in any of all this. So there are two sides, of course, to this as this all plays out. But it is interesting that these raids happening at the same time. According to TMZ, a raid of his Miami home is happening right now, as well as now we're looking at the live pictures of what's going on in Holmby Hills at this mansion right here, all connected to Sean Combs. So again, until we find out further word as to what exactly they're searching for and why, we continue to look at the procedures taking place regarding this raid that's being conducted by Homeland Security. You have support from local law enforcement officials as well. We saw from the ground shots, you see multiple agencies there a part of all of this, and they have a number of resources on hand with a drone flying up top, as well as they had ladders taking a closer look at certain parts of the property. And so they are looking at every nook and cranny they need to in terms of why they're investigating this home and property. So clearly this is going to take a while. And as Haley mentioned, with her shot down on the ground right there, more people are coming to your area, Haley.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly media at this point. We were the first ones here on scene, but yeah, since there's probably a dozen different media agencies. Yeah, it looks like his homes on both coasts are being raided. We still have not gotten word on exactly where P. Diddy is, if he is in fact in New York right now or in Los Angeles. And of course, yeah, we haven't seen him here in Holmby Hills. This is right off of Sunset and Beverly Glen. And it all unfolded, I'd say, about 30 minutes ago. They're at his home here. They're also at his home in Miami. Of course, it's a little bit calmer, I would say, than it was about 20 minutes ago when it all happened. The guns that were drawn earlier have been since put away. Looks like they just put away their drone, but of course doing a thorough job of checking the home for any kind of details that they can come up with related to these allegations against sex trafficking. As you said, Sandra, there's several lawsuits against him for these allegations, all of which he has denied. So we will have to wait and see. Of course, and everybody's interested in the details of what how he's connected to these latest allegations.
And from your vantage
we will bring
point,
the very latest systems. I'm sorry?
Yeah, from your vantage point, Haley, does it look like some authorities are leaving the scene right now? They're done, or not? Is that not the case?
No, it looks like more are coming. I think what you're seeing is just the vehicles moving to a different location. We're kind of at the bottom of the hill But if you go up a little bit farther, some of the vehicles that you saw down here earlier have since kind of gone to the other side of the hill. This is obviously a very prestigious neighborhood. I said earlier, Humphrey Bogart's former house, I think, is next door to P. Diddy's in the 200 block here of Mapleton and Holmby Hills off of Sunset near Beverly Glen. So the vehicles have basically just moved forward. You're seeing a lot more of those law enforcement officers from the Department of Homeland Security, though, back here on the street in Mapleton since they've come out of the home after they've done their thorough investigating inside that beautiful home belonging to P. Diddy, to Sean Combs. So I don't think they have any intention, Sandra, on going anywhere anytime soon. And overhead, you can see law enforcement helicopters and, of course, Stu up there in Sky Fox.
Thank you so much, Haley, for that perspective on the ground right there in front of that Holmby Hills mansion. Stu, up in Sky Fox, it looks like, yes, there are some more law enforcement, but in different attire. Should I say suits instead of body armor?
Definitely, and you know, and we all know how that works. The suits are going to be the investigators and probably the ones that are running the show. And again, I still think that they are just waiting for that green light for them to be allowed to make their way inside the property and to make their way to the areas that I would venture to say that they probably are pretty specific. I don't think they're just going in randomly. And again,
we'll go back to it in a little bit, but did you hear them say they're pretty specific? Because I'm telling you, Rory, they had the blueprint. Mm-hmm. They spoke to little Rodney. Mm-hmm. They said, point out where we need to go. We just
X marks the spot right here.
Boom, boom. They know what they going. They know where they headed for first. They may do a therapy. They're going to be in there for days because that's a big property. Mm-hmm. But they know exactly where they're headed, to which room and what they're looking for and what they're trying to get. And they're probably trying to seize all the cameras, too, to get them some footage. Yep. But like I said, he's a big dummy because these things have been coming against him for a minute. That house wouldn't have been there if it was mine. You wouldn't have got nothing but some ashes. But that's me. Felicia, what are your thoughts? Are you there, Felicia? She may not be there. Katrina, any thoughts?
Wait a minute now. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. I'm back. Doing my thing.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Thank you. To God the glory. The thanks and the praise for getting that predator off the street. Oh, I love it. I love it. And I was just watching some footage of the boat. They had some kind of military boat go to the back of his house. And so there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But I got to tell you, those two girls down there, I don't know, look like the twins to me. But, you know, I'm just saying. One's hiding in the bush, trying not to be on camera, telling the other one, sit down. Sit down. Okay? So, look. They have been forewarned, but they didn't expect it on a Monday. Beautiful Monday. But, but I'm glad we've been praying for this. We want this predator, this piece of malicious individual. We want him to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. And if that means you know, there's collateral damage in terms of what happened to your kids. They got handcuffed, had pow-pows put to the back of their heads. Well, that's what comes with the territory.
Not the kids.
So that's what we saw, right? And, you know, I was looking at that lawsuit from Lil Rodney, yeah? That picture of that guy that he says was an arms dealer, that's who that guy is down there on the grass. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm ecstatic. To God the glory. I'm just grateful. Get him off the streets and everybody else. And there's going to be a whole lot of folks. We're going to be back to that whole Thanksgiving mercy, you know. Oh, Jesus. They coming for me next year. You part of it. They going to get you too.
Look at Justin right there. No, that's not Justin. That's King. Mm-hmm. Isn't that Christian? That's Christian, right? Oh my gosh. Cuffed up because it's daddy.
Yeah, go to the scene with the boat. There's a boat. There it is.
Yeah, because that's the only way to get on Star Island. Ain't it? They said, no, this is the rating in Miami. Hold on, let's look at this real quick.
But Diva Star Island is off of Miami.
Okay.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hey, Clay. Felicia called me, told me, girl, we live.
Woo, child. The kid, you know, this is, look at Justin and King. This is a shame.
Embarrassed.
So I came in on the tail end until Felicia dropped the dime on me. I did not know that they had went and invaded his property. So what is the charges?
I think right now they just cuffing everybody in the house so they can ask them questions. You understand? So they just asking questions right now because they being very big. They're saying it's related to the traffic and all that. Mm-hmm. But remember, I said to you, I felt
you did. You said, I'm gonna give it 2 more months. I'm gonna give it 2 more months. They coming to get him.
Yeah, and I said that I felt like little Rodney was in protected custody. Mm. And little Rodney, he done gave them the blueprint and all the info, and now they got Justin and King in cuffs.
Okay, but where Diddy at?
They looking for him. Somebody else said he on the run. Now, if he's on the run and he left his kids to be, this is messed up.
He did. That's what he did. That's what he did.
Oh my God, let's see.
Somebody tipped him off.
Yep.
He don't love them kids.
No, he do not.
Breaking news right now, we're following the Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
You'll see one of those Bearcats, and law enforcement on the other side of those bushes basically is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
We did see a bunch of investigators going in, making the raid in there and clearing that as well. So they're going to do a thorough search as they conduct this raid. And so far, Stu, from what I understand and from Haley on the ground there, they have not seen, and we have not seen from our vantage point, any sign of Sean Combs, the 54-year-old who is believed to be the property owner of this. They are gathering information, talking to the folks who are there on the property, as well as going through the home. It wasn't as heightened as we saw just 10 minutes ago when they actually got onto the property.
Well, definitely a little bit more relaxed as far as the investigators that you see right there. And now we're getting more of a count. You can see that there's 4, maybe 5 people down there, 6 total that they have removed from the home. A couple of them still in cuffs.
We don't know what exactly they're looking for, who they're looking for. But again, this could possibly be linked to a sex trafficking investigation involving rapper Sean Combs, the music executive. But as you heard from Haley right there, she believes, and she's been hearing, that we do not think that Sean Combs is on that property at home right now. He may be in New York as this raid is being conducted. But we do know from our reporting that over the course of the year already, just as early as March this year, there have been several lawsuits filed against Sean Combs. So clearly this could be part of it. We are not sure at this point.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is a lot. They done got the Justin and they in handcuffs. Leo, your thoughts?
Girl, I'm just trying to take it in. So I think, because there's another girl too that is I think that's her. I don't think that's one of the twins. It might be one of the twins there, but that light-skinned girl is another girl.
She's another girl. Yeah.
That I think he has. It's terrible for these kids, right? I am really speechless. I am really speechless. I really did not think it was going to happen this soon. I wonder, they watched the property for some time. So I wonder what made them run in knowing that Sean Combs' Puffy wasn't there.
Well, this is just my theory. He knew this was coming, right?
So they found out he was tipped off.
Remember, he has. Go ahead, Roy.
I definitely think he was tipped off. If you think about over the course of the years, everything that Diddy has done, according to what everybody's been telling us, you know, as far as him hanging people over banisters or him offing people or people's houses being set on fire, all of these times he's been able to get away with all of this. Look how many years he got away with doing the stuff he did to Cassie. All of these years. So you know people in high places, hey, you need to go on and get out of town for the next couple of, you know, days, 2, 3, 4, 5, because they showing up. They come.
They showing up. So if you know,
leave your babies there. Leave your babies there.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Felicia said something to me like, that's what I said to Felicia when I called her. I'm like, girl, you gonna leave the kids? I mean,
at the point that you hanging people over banisters and stuff, if you're gonna hang people over balconies and stuff, what's the kids to you?
So somebody asked, why is Justin and why do I keep losing the other one's name, King, in handcuffs? If you remember from Little Rodney's lawsuit, he named Justin and King in the lawsuit. You see the connection here? I feel like a lot of this is it was coming either way, but I feel like Little Rodney put the nail in the coffin, and I feel like he's in protective custody. Now, Quincy hasn't been around really like that in a minute, if you notice. Quincy comes around for birthdays. He comes around and say hi to Baby Love when Baby Love turned 1. But he hasn't been heavy over there with them in a minute. I don't know if he's with his mama. I don't know if he got his own
mama passed. His mama passed.
Not his, you know, I forgot, not his mom. I don't know if he got his own property. I don't know what he's doing, but he hasn't been in their face like that for a minute. And he's kind of quiet. You know, he seems kind of subtle on his Instagram. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
And you know, he has an acting career too. You know, he do a lot of them shows on Black, you know, all Black TV and stuff like that. BET Plus, you know, he do his own little acting thing. You know, he might get a little bit of change off his daddy, but I think he got his own place to stay in his own life.
Right. So Zach's case, I remember they had Jen Shaw kids with cuffed too. They were cuffed for a minute, but they uncuffed them. Did you notice that they had the girl in cuff? Then they took the cuffs off her and let her sit on the ground. Yeah. But they left the cuffs on King and Justin.
Yeah.
So normally when they're raiding a home, anybody over the age of 18 is arrested just for safety precautions. You know, they don't know if you got a pow on you, a knife or anything like that. So just working in the city and stuff, I do know that that is something that they normally do. Anybody that's over the age of 18 is handcuffed until a search is done or, you know, whatever is done to make sure that they're the innocent party.
Ooh, Wayne, any thoughts?
Yeah. He should have been listening to that show. I think Felicia back last year, she said that 24 was going to be a year of, I know resources, protecting resources, but revealing, you know, all the stuff that's coming out. You know what they're saying now?
Uh-huh.
This is going to be the year. I ain't going to come this fast on him. And like you said in that report, Justin and King, whatever, I think I read somewhere they said they were the ones that was bringing the young people to the parties. You know, they would go out and get some of the young people, I don't know if they're friends or whatever, bringing them to the party, to the FOs. So I tell you, this today, and in Florida, you know, if Trump gonna get his butt kicked, Diddy ain't gonna stand a chance. All that red down there, but I was just, when I saw it, Diva, I think I sent you a text. I'm like, oh my God, just pop. I said both places. So they tag teamed him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They tag team him, and the boy Justin. I think I read somewhere. I think he kind of getting to know Albie Shore, his father, or something like that. They've been, meeting and stuff like that. So
that's Quincy, you mean?
Yeah, Quincy. I don't know. Yeah, Quincy. But we'll see.
I don't even think it's that Quincy. I think Quincy seen how he treated his mama. Quincy seen how he do these people, and he backed up all the way. And like Leo said, he has a career too. Been working in, acting for a long time, and he can't put everything at jeopardy because apparently his daddy ain't gonna have nothing left for him behind, or the man that claimed to be, he took on as his father. But
oh, good gosh, Katrina. Oh, did we lose Katrina? Tay, any thoughts? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, like you were saying, I think he's a fool. He knew this stuff was coming down. Every evidence that I knew that I would think they would have on me would have been swept through that house. That house would have been clean when they got up in there. Because he knew it was coming. There's no possible way I would have left anything in that house or got rid of everything that was there, because you're not going to tell me you didn't know that this wasn't coming. So, like Felicia said, he just getting his just due. You just thought about everybody that you messed over, and now somebody's gonna mess over you, and he getting exactly what he deserved. And I don't like wishing bad on anybody, but this man had been stuff to people ever since his days of coming into the business. So he just reaping what he sold out. That's all I got.
Ooh, all right, I'm coming to you, Tay. Give me a minute. Hold on, let me add this up here. Cassie lawyers have spoken. They pretty much said we support getting the devil and locking him up for everything he has done. So we will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those that have violated the law. Hopefully, this is the beginning of the process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct. Cassie lawyer. Oh, there's a lot of people that want to see him donezo. Yeah.
Diva, if I may.
Of course.
If I could have one moment, Tete, and follow up to that that piece, if I may, I'd like to read this piece from the CNBC.
Yes.
That says the agents were authorized to search the properties by warrants issued in Manhattan federal court. So that tells me that his place in New York must be raided right now, or maybe it was raided earlier, because this was not issued by LA County or by whoever governs Star Island. And so when we say, well, why is it happening now? So think about what we had talked about with that cover that Jeffrey Epstein had down there in Florida. So maybe he does have that from Florida, but he doesn't have it from New York. So Homeland Security goes in Florida and LA, because remember the little Rodney lawsuit says that there was an incident where someone was harmed in a bathroom. And according to his suit, the LAPD said there was no incident inside. This happened on the sidewalk. And he said, well, that's not what happened. I was there. And then they reopened that investigation. But we don't know what the status of that is. But the Manhattan federal court said, no, go into LA, go into Miami and conduct this raid. So this is very interesting to me, because what's happening in New York right now? We say, well, where is he? He could be handcuffed and be held right now. I don't know. We'll know in an hour.
Yeah, New York ain't got him yet.
We'll see.
Yeah, not yet. And maybe
if I issue the warrant for them to search LA and Miami, why is it not being covered for New York?
What homes does he have in New York?
He has a condo. We'll see. I give it an hour.
He's small, so even though I made those decisions and it cost me money, that's why I got with Killer and they gave me the money back. I didn't lose no money. Destiny.
That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good. That boy Did you make the right decision leaving rap?
I did. Everything now that we see playing out was all the things I escaped. The car, the shine, the loan, the Puff Daddy, the Craig Mack, the Biggie Smalls. So even though I made those decisions and it cost me money, that's why I got with Killer and they gave me the money back. I didn't lose no money. Destiny.
Ooh, he better talk. A lot of these people got into the trouble they got into because money was king to them. He said, I escaped. What he's saying is, somebody is giving feedback. Y'all got, I don't know who that is. What he said was, I escaped death. I escaped death. I escaped all of this nonsense. Diddy going down now? I bypassed that by saying no way back then. Come through, Mase. Come through. Because you're about to escape all of this nonsense that's about to go down. Tay, you're in the building. Let me let you in. What are your thoughts?
All I say is, Diddy, your time is coming shortly. Ends right now. You better turn yourself in right now because you don't care about your kids. You don't. All you do is care about yourself. That's it. What kind of father do that to his own kids like that? That don't make no sense to me at all. A father always protect his kids, no matter what. And you confess your sin. And this is this song for him right here. This is my confession. And bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do is come for you. Hey, do it, Dad.
They're coming for Diddy. I appreciate you.
Steve, I just sent you an article because it said they raided New York too. I didn't go into it, but it's from the rap.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Where we at? E, you're in the building.
Hi.
Hey.
You know, how is everyone? How are you, darling?
Hey, I'm good, boo. What you think about this man leaving his kids behind? He done left the babies. He left the babies, E.
Well, first off, let me start here. And thank you, Miss Felicia, for giving me the dropping the dime on me. This is first, and I want people to understand me before I say this. They're doing all of this in public and speeding everything up intentionally. There is an ulterior motive behind this. And when we were all backstage one day, I specifically said, what happened to that Epstein list, that flight log that they were supposed to be releasing back in February that we never got? And then it was going around through the grapevine that they're going after Black Hollywood intentionally, right? And don't get me wrong, there's dirt to be uncovered and they all need to get got. But I just want us to be clear. They're feeding us Diddy when there are bigger fish out there to get. So I want them to get him, but I also want them to get the others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
okay.
it makes sense.
Well,
It makes sense what you're saying, but
let me get into this whole Diddy thing because I know that we have been taking bets. And some people said November, some people said August, September. And so, God said, I'm going to get it before April Fool's Day. And so that's fine too. Now, this is my problem. And kudos to Cassie because her check cleared before all the assets were frozen. So go ahead, Cassie.
Yes.
But the problem is once that little, whatever his name is, I forgot his name. What's the man name who with Cuban Gooding Jr. and all the pictures? Little Rod. Once the Little Rod lawsuit came out and you had the pictures in there, and once he mentioned Justin and once he mentioned Christian, as a parent, and y'all may look at me kind of funny, my first instinct would have been, oh, you got to get the hell up out of here. Because especially if I have these are grown adult children. Not to say that they should be thrown away, but you got to get out of here. Because I have children in high school. Those twins and the other sister, they all Irish twins. If you ask me, their mothers was all pregnant at the same time. And plus you got this other baby love. To me, every innocent person, y'all can come here for a little while because this property is too hot, is what I'm trying to say. And so the fact that he knew this lawsuit was out there, even though he tried to corrupt the server so no one could see the court documents, he knew it was out there. And so my problem is, why weren't the kids stashed away? And I'm not talking about Christian and Justin. I'm talking about Delilah, Chance, and that other twin. Why were they even, to me, these kids still have to go to school. And now you're on television, whether it was the light-skinned twin or not. This is embarrassing. Do you get what I'm saying? And I just don't believe that there is no aunt, there is no grandmother, there is no, I don't believe that there wasn't anybody who could have stashed them away in a Trump Tower somewhere, for lack of a better hotel, that these girls could have been put away. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, he would have needed to send them to Kamora Lee, but he was fighting with Kamora Lee also. Like, so, you know, add to her bunch of kids. He would have needed to send them to Kamora, but he was also, you got to understand this, the man was still in denial because most recently, Ye, whatever you want to call him, he went to his listening parties with the twins, with Justin, and with, I don't know, I think Christian was there too. I'm not sure, but I know for sure the twins were there. And they was living their life like nothing was going on. So he was a little bit still in denial. It was like, because here's the thing. Me and Roy had said it earlier before everybody was really up here. There would have been no Star Island to go to. There would have been no New York home, Miami home, whatever home. They all would have, unfortunately, you know, burnt down if I was Diddy. And I would have had to deal with arson and not you coming for me, digging up in my house and finding things that I might have forgot to get rid of. Built by Creators, thank you so. I'm wait, hold on 1 second. I'll come back to you. Okay, by Creators, thank you so much. You better give us Michelle A. vocal, sing it. I know that's right. Thank you so much for that super chat. Go ahead and finish, E.
Well, that tells me one of two things, because we do know that he has people on the inside, and we do know that he gets information. So that tells me either it's gone up so far up that his people on the inside are not even being fed the information, or his people on the inside got.
There comes a time when they no longer can help you, right? And the same thing happened to Jeffrey Epstein. There came a time where they could no longer help him. And they told this man to knock it off and calm down. Much like Diddy, when you're that far in, it's heartbreaking to see those girls handled by the cops. It is. Jay is a gem, and thank you for the super chat. Heartbreaking, but this tells you that this man, because he's running somewhere. You mean to tell me he just happens to be at none of his residence? And trust me, if they lock Diddy up because they want to humiliate him, like they do in the Suns right now, and it's all on the news or whatever the case may be, they're going to show us when they get him. It's going to be breaking news. It's going to shut down the TV, the internet, and everything when they get Diddy in custody. We going to know.
Just FYI, everyone, his girls are 18. The twins are 18, so they are not minors. They are not minors. Yep.
That sucks. That sucks.
And so if they, with my experience in the courts, if it is found that they know something about this or some kind of involvement, they will be as well an accessory to a crime. So this is just really sad on all sides because, I mean, you're literally risking your family's life. I mean, literally risking for decisions that you chose to make years ago. Coming back and haunting you.
Yeah, what he should have did once this all started going down, he should have bought them all a condo and said, "Stay there, stay there."
Well, apparently that house is in the daughter's name that they raiding in Miami.
Yeah. In my opinion, you're up.
I think he getting what he deserves. I hate that the kids got to go down with it, but I think he getting what he deserves. You can't keep doing this to innocent people and then think you're gonna get away with it forever. Your past come back to hunt you.
What's done in the dark will always come to the light, people.
Yeah. Not 18. Anybody else? Anything you want to say before I pull back up and see if the news report telling us anything new yet?
Diddy probably involved.
Huh?
Diddy probably involved with Russell Simmons.
I can't hear you, Katrina. You're sounding very muffled.
Can you hear me now?
You sound a little bit better.
I said he probably with Russell Simmons.
So, Luciana, yes.
Didn't they get up on him on the boat?
Say that again?
Didn't they get up on Diddy on the boat?
What do you mean?
I could have swore they said agents got him in the water.
No, they would have showed us. They would have showed us. No. Miss Diva knew. A source tells Rolling Stone 4 Jane Does and one John Doe already sat for interviews. See, here's the thing. I'm not shocked about this. This is stuff I kind of already heard. They've been digging for people who were willing to speak for months. There's not too many people that were willing to speak. Some of them was just like, no, they was too scared. And that's why I told you, I really think that Rodney is in witness protection program. And so that's why he was free to say more. See, they always knew what Diddy was doing. They needed somebody who was going to give details like Little Rodney did. Little Rodney got the pictures of the people. He was able to say, I saw this, the men in black, they come with this, they do this, you got to walk around with this, that, and the other. Little Rodney told some more stuff. And he also, Diddy has always been accused of doing stuff to people, unaliving people allegedly. Well, Little Rodney has a real-time story with pictures from the studio in the bathroom, what blood on the toilet. And he said that man that they claim was pow by a drive-by happened in the studio. And remember, he said he can't say who did it between Diddy and Justin, but he just feels he knows that one of them did it. It would be up to that person who it happened to actually speak. Who knows if that guy is one of the people that they spoke to and said, let me speak. Okay. So seems he sacrificed those children. He did, Jay is a gem. I appreciate your super chat. That's how I'm feeling right now. He did. He left them for dead.
And correction, Diva, they'll be 18 in December of this year. So excuse me.
All right, so they got time. So maybe they'll be okay because they're only 17. I don't know all the rules on that. I don't.
Because in some states, after 16, you're no longer considered a minor. So,
but this is my thing, and I'm sorry, I just have one sentence.
Yeah, no problem.
Even though they're 17, this is still a traumatic experience because he was their last living parent. And so these girls should have been protected with every precaution should have been taken. What are you doing taking them to a Yee listening party? Negro, you under investigation. Now they have no one. They are abandoned. That's a problem for me. That's why I say had it been me, they would not have even been on the property because I would not have. All you have is your good name. They already know who your father is. Your mother is not here. All you have is your good name left.
And that ain't even good.
That's it.
Oh, it's just incredibly sad. He's messy, and this is sad. Anybody else, any new updates that you heard? Let me go back to this and let's see.
Diva, go to that TMZ article.
Okay, I'll go there.
Even in that the warrant, they're going to have a list of things that they are able to look at, able to take. It isn't just a random search. They actually have to go in and actually find things that they believe have information or evidence.
Well, his landscaping money is tight because on the outside, that estate is gorgeous.
So that rate is still very ongoing. Very preliminary, but again, we do see a large force out there, which, like you're trying to say, or what I believe you did say, is that this is a warranted search. And of course, they are here and they are definitely looking for specific pieces of information. What they are, we don't know. We may never know, but right now that search is definitely ongoing.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, we've covered so many of these different types of raids. Obviously, not always at a celebrity mansion like this in Holmby Hills, but clearly sometimes you see them having to forcefully enter a property and seize evidence, and it doesn't always go so smoothly. And it was, in fact, very smooth the way they gained entry into this property. And after they figured out that side entrance, they were able to make entry. But it's not like they show in the movies, as you mentioned, Stu, right? They weren't battering down doors and destroying property. This is very methodical. And in terms of many stories we've covered like this, it was a very easy entry and they were able to access the property and get on site. So clearly, they're ready for anything. Whatever they're going to be met with, you don't know. And that is why they make sure that they are safe in numbers, that they're armored, and that is why you see such a big force out there, because you never know what kind of emotion you're going to be met with.
Definitely, and emotion is really what plays a lot of it, and that's one of the things that we were talking about is, you know, right now that was the gate that they were having all that trouble. They're actually looking at that actual door and propping it open, but that was the door that was giving them trouble. And we were I was trying to figure out if that is actually maybe like a private entrance for that back house. It does actually look like it. It seems like, you know, if you're staying there, that's how you get in and out without going through the actual house itself. But you can see they still have personnel there on scene. Every house, there's 3 properties that I would say on this big piece of property. They all have some sort of somebody there, just making sure that there isn't anything being taken or anything moving in and out, and or another person in that area. But that main house, there's still a number of folks that like armored personnel that we've seen go in have not seen come out, but there's some of those ones that are not wearing the gear, and those are that first group that made their way in. They were here originally. They came with the armored trucks. They did not make their way into the property. They waited outside, and now they are actually making their way to that front door, which shows you that their progress is being made. And of course, we will keep keeping an eye on the as we call them, and it is what they are, the suits down there. I'm sure those are the ones that are pretty much running the show, or where all the evidence is going to go to in the end. They are still outside, so that shows you that they're going to be waiting. I would venture to say when they find something, those are the guys that are going to make their way in and actually looking at and taking things from this home. But right now, that's still, that process, I wouldn't even think has actually even started.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to take a lot of time. That is a huge mansion to begin with. And then it depends on what they're looking for. It could be as small as a hard drive or as big as boxes and boxes full of evidence or information they're trying to collect and gather. And where all of that information is also the tricky part. I mean, think about going into a stranger's home. You don't know where they put things. And so it could be very hidden. So this whole process, it could take a lot of time in terms of them finding what they made entry for. So this is a methodical.
They don't want to provide us any information, I should say. And just in case you're just joining us, we have homes of P. Diddy being raided on both coasts, Miami and his home here in Holmby Hills.
So Haley, just to clarify, in that statement, it didn't mention Sean Combs, correct? Or anything?
It doesn't, but we have confirmation from multiple law enforcement sources that this does involve Sean Combs or P. Diddy. But no, this statement, I'll read it one more time, says earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from both HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners.
All right.
We'll provide further information as it becomes available. Of course, we're trying to get them to talk to us on camera, but they said, the lady in particular who sent me the statement says she's not allowed to.
Thank you so much. Yeah, not really clarifying a whole lot though, but clearly understandable because right now, maybe they're not in position to divulge any more information. So let's bring in Hal Kemper here again from Homeland Security. Thank you so much for your expertise in all this. I don't know if you heard that statement, but didn't really say anything except that an investigation is underway in Miami and here. So clearly not stating who it involves or what the charges are.
It doesn't, and they might be crime scenes. I should clarify, I'm not from Homeland Security, but I work in Homeland Security, and I've worked with Homeland Security investigations over many years. Very familiar with not only the agency, but also a lot of the individuals, a lot of the people who work there, to include here in Los Angeles, especially. What they're probably looking at are the two residences, one in New York, one in Los Angeles. And I haven't seen the documentation, but if it doesn't name Sean Combs by name, it's probably because there's been allegations that criminal activity had taken place tied to sex trafficking at these locations. So what they're doing is they're looking at the locations themselves and investigating them as potential crime scenes. And of course, with that, I'm sure the scope is such that they can look just about anywhere, gather up any materials. They're probably gathering up any electronic materials. They're probably doing things like imaging the place, taking a lot of pictures and stuff that may be used later. Could be in reference to what witnesses say on the stand, that they may look at various pictures of the locations themselves to help refresh their memory while they're talking about various activities that may have taken place or alleged to have taken place. So there's a lot of reasons why they might not focus on him per se. Also, there's another thing too, is he runs a fairly large organization. The fact that they don't name him might mean that they're looking at other activities that could have taken place within his immediate, entourage or his organization that involve these properties. So one can't rule out anything at this point because we don't know a lot.
Sure. And obviously, this is just their statement to the press at this point. So what the actual legal documents say and what the statement they gave us is very, very different. Let's be clear. So we're sometimes, not privy to all of those details and information until it becomes available at a later date. But you were mentioning the whole search process. We are seeing so many law enforcement officials, investigators, and this is basically 3 properties on this entire, or 3 homes, I should say, buildings on this entire property in Holmby Hills we're talking about. How long is it going to take for them to go through it? Do they have a time limit? I mean, essentially, some people are going to come back into the home, right, at some point. So how does that all play out?
I'm sure if you were to ask them, they'd say it's going to take as long as it takes. These are huge properties. You can imagine looking through one home takes a lot of time, but when you have 3 very large buildings with a lot of different rooms, various different levels on those homes. Also, they're going to be looking at every nook and cranny. They'll be looking anything, that's subsurface in the home. They'll be looking in basically everywhere they can. They could be using a variety of sensor systems to find out if there's any hidden compartments, safes, things like that, and walls that aren't readily apparent. There could be a lot of different things they're looking for. And they may have dogs there too, looking for various different things as well, but they're probably looking for more where stuff may be held, I would imagine, with that. And of course, anything tied to any of the allegations, we don't know. But certainly the fact that they're there indicates that they probably had, some witnesses say that certain things happened or certain things were there when they were there. And they're probably trying to verify if those things are in fact there, if that if that what they were told is correct. So there's probably just a lot of things that they're working through, checking off a list of stuff. And by the way, they may be looking on the grounds themselves. There could be stuff that's not necessarily in the buildings that are on the grounds, and of course they'd be looking at that as well. I imagine it's going to take quite some time with a property this big for them to work through all of the potential spaces and places where materials could be.
Thank you so much. We will have more on Fox 11 app. So if we get information, we'll once again. And now we resume to our original program.
This is our family farm.
Ooh. Yeah, it's about time. Time is up. Anybody else? Did you hear any more breaking news?
I didn't hear any more breaking news, but I'm still coming in on the tail end. So Homeland Security did the raid.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's them trafficking charges.
Yeah, that's what Felicia said. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Diddy. Well, you need to turn yourself in because I don't want to see you have it them they getting clanked up on the TV now. You can go ahead and turn yourself in now.
Yes, turn yourself in. But what I wonder is though, so the thing is they're not being clear on if there's charges. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, is he turning himself in for what? Because right now, everybody that was there is being detained. But detained, do you know what I'm trying to say?
But yes, but I think I did hear the man say that they're investigating the property.
Right.
So they must have got enough information from Lil Rod to be able to run up in there on the property.
Right.
And
go ahead, E.
I'm sorry, baby. Hey, no, remember also when that Cassie case came, they kept saying that they had tapes. Remember that was floating around that and so the fact that they're looking to find any secret rooms, any secret hideaways, that they finna tear that house apart.
They are.
And I don't believe that charges are not next door. They're cousins. The raid is cousins with the charges, baby. You just sit down.
But I'm wondering though, when we say turn yourself in, what I'm wondering though is he's turning himself in for what at this moment?
There isn't nothing for him to turn himself in for.
Right.
So, but I'm quite sure charges are pending.
Yes, they are, for sure. For sure. But so what I'm saying is, so you know, he's just maybe he's chilling somewhere while they raid these homes, and depending upon what they find, then they may be coming for him. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
He in Bali with Russell.
Yeah, he's a big fool though. But I don't know how you can get rid of that much evidence. But he's a big fool if they do it's like when they raided R. Kelly and they came out with all those tapes and everything. He would be a big fool if he got that much stuff and hard drives laying around. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think so. Maybe he would have been smart enough to make sure that once the stuff hit the fan with Cassie, that he removed all that stuff. Because he still got it. You know, a predator don't get rid of their trophies. So I don't know. You know, he probably, I don't know. I mean, he going to the listening party. He probably do think he above the law. He might not didn't get rid of his stuff.
Ooh.
Well, hey, Steve, I got a question.
Yeah.
Do y'all think he's capable of doing the Epstein? I mean, you know, Epstein's so-called, you know,
no.
with the S. Do y'all think you think if he was cornered, he wouldn't ever? Okay.
No, he ain't gonna do that.
No.
He love his stuff way too much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To the point where he just recently changed the Instagram picture. And like I said, he was at the Kanye West listening party. Mm-hmm.
You know, I think sometimes when you have so much money and power, you just think you can get away with everything. You've gotten away so long. You've had so many, I'm sure, police or whatever on the payroll that he could go this long without getting caught. So I just, it's the power. I mean, to make you, because everybody got money, don't do this, But I think he just thought he was untouchable. And when
Oh,
they
for
finally
sure
got
he did.
somebody to come through with names and information, it perked their ears up and willing to talk. This was golden.
Yeah. All right. We're going to listen to this, and then I guess we'll come back later if there's more updated news. I think once they find something in that home, it'll be some breaking news that they're coming out with briefcases, boxes, or something. Let's see what this one had to say.
As we speak in both LA and Miami Beach at the homes of Sean Diddy Combs. You know him as Diddy, formerly Puff Daddy, big time rapper, big time producer, big time superstar. And now the feds at his houses in both locations. This is a live look right now. On the left, that's West Coast, that's LA. On the right, that's Miami Beach you're looking at. I want to show you in just the last couple of minutes in LA, agents holding what look to be guns as they walk into the home, as they enter the home. And you can see some of the apparatus there that they've brought. I want to get to Dana Griffin, who is following this for us now. Why is this happening? What do we know? Hallie, still, as you mentioned, this is a developing story, so we're learning new details minute by minute. NBC News has confirmed that this is a raid being conducted by Homeland Security and that the warrant specifically came out of the Southern District of New York. Now, we believe this is tied to sex trafficking allegations. There's an investigation into claims that that the rapper may have been involved in this. So we believe this is connected to that. But obviously, what a split screen moment here to see investigations not only in Miami, but also Los Angeles, which shows that this was very coordinated and planned. And remember, when it comes to warrants, these aren't things that are just, done haphazardly. This had to be signed by a judge. So this was obviously very methodical. And this is a sprawling home here in California. This is located in the Holmby Hills area, a very wealthy area. That home that we can see from that sky cam is massive, sprawling, and we don't know exactly what they are looking for. It could be something as small as a USB drive, or it could be several boxes of documents that could prove his guilt or prove his innocence. So, and you mentioned those guns that we saw law enforcement carrying. It sounds like that's pretty routine because they're going into a home. It's a huge home. It's not secured. But from what we have seen on the ground and from local reports, that this was a very easy entry. There was no sort of violence or any sort of skirmish inside the home. So the weapons that you may have seen there are probably just cautionary. Again, this could take several hours considering that these are two separate homes in two different locations. So we're waiting to get more details, and we're still trying to figure out where exactly P. Diddy is located. No one has been able to confirm that at this hour. Hallie? So that was going to be my other question, Dana, is where is he now? I mean, we don't know is the short answer, huh?
He could be anywhere, assuming that he's not here in Los Angeles, because we saw from that chopper video several people that were taken out of the home. Some appear to be in handcuffs, and that is customary when you're doing a raid. They want to check everyone out, make sure everyone who they say they are. We have not seen any images of P. Diddy, which shows that he may not be in his Miami or his Los Angeles home, but I'm sure over the next several minutes and hours, we will get more details. Hallie?
Dana, in just the last maybe 2 minutes as you were speaking, I want to say even 60 seconds. And again, this is breaking news. I'm going to give you a beat to look at your phone because we are getting in now a statement attributable to Homeland Security Investigations, HSI in New York. And in this statement, and I'm putting it up on screen because this is the first bit of sort of on the record information here, that HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. We will provide further information as it becomes available. And that's key, Dana, as you know, because as we've been talking about, information is not something we have a lot of at this moment. Do we know if there's any news conference set, any kind of opportunity that we might get for our teams on the ground there to question some of these investigators, or is that still TBD? That's still TBD. We've got a lot of our teams working to try to get that information. But as you can see, they put out a statement, but there was not a lot of details issued in that statement. So that tells us a lot of information of what they are keeping kind of closed-lipped at this point. So, you know, again, we have no idea what they're bringing out. We may get a hint as we start seeing bags or boxes brought out as far as how much stuff they could be looking for. But when it comes to these sort of raids, they have to look for something very specific. They don't just go into a home and just take out any and everything that looks interesting. So there's obviously something specific that they are looking for in both of these homes, and we may find out what that is, or we possibly could not. So obviously we'll be following this very closely.
Okay.
Hallie?
Dana, I'm going to let you back to the reporting that I know you and the teams out west are doing. Thank you so much. We'll be following this, obviously, over the course of the next couple of hours here.
Ooh, so we'll wait and see what else is coming through. We'll keep connected to this story. Diddy's going down 2024. Okay, they're coming for everybody.
Well, he got to peep his head out the bushes to go find out what's going on with his properties. Like what they
his kids.
Yeah, well, you know, he don't care nothing about the kids. We done already established that. But yeah, he gonna have to peep his head up out the bushes to find out what did they dig. He probably ain't gonna say nothing now. He probably in contact with his attorneys, and they gonna figure out a game plan. But he gonna have to pop up eventually.
Well, in true Diddy fashion, he's gonna stay hidden for as long as possible. But she said a key pertinent statement is information is something that we don't have a lot of right now. But what we do have is a lot of speculation. I know in our communities, we do know of the types of parties that and allegations that Diddy has been throwing for decades, many, many decades. It's up to them to catch up to Diddy and actually put the cuffs on him and finally throw him in prison where he actually belongs, and get him for all the wrongs that he's been doing. Actually catch up to Diddy for all the things that he has been done, because they've been late to the party. So Diddy's going to stay hidden for a very, very long time, as long as he can, because there's been many, many years of, because this is federal. Honestly, there's a lot more that we don't know about, and the feds do that they haven't told the public, because this is, you know, wire fraud, and Diddy's been doing things that he shouldn't have, using like you. He's just been doing more than human trafficking, sex trafficking. They have more on him than we know about. So he's going to try to
that it's money. I definitely believe it's money.
Yeah,
money involved.
Yeah, and more than money too. It's using the postal service, the waterways. There's a lot that they haven't released as of yet.
Ooh.
Well, see, they're gonna get them on all those pretty much, which I'm gonna call incidentals, right? But because they can't quite get them on the legends out there of allegedly all the people where his hands were involved, maybe directly or indirectly, of some people being unalive, right?
I don't think so either. But what Savannah is describing is RICO charges.
No, I get that, right? But that's why I'm saying they're going there, similar like with O.J. Simpson. So you got off for unaliving these two people, and so we locked you up anyway in the back end for robbery, whatever else we did. So I get that, yeah, they're going after these RICO charges, but it's like it's a lot of it is almost because a lot of those, with the exception of little Rodney, he's the only one that came forward that is recent, right? With the exception of little Rodney, a lot of the SA cases are old, so they can only do civil, right?
I get what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, they only do civil. So it's like, we know this man is who he is, but we got to get him on something that's going to stick. And these things that we're going to get him on that's going to stick is going to come with decades and all of this, you know, time, so to speak, even though they know they wish they could probably get him on a lot of these SAs and alleged unalivings. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So they know his whole file, and they have people that they really have been begging to speak up. But listen, I'm going to say rightfully so. I would be scared out of my mind. Now, whether you heard Mase himself, Mase left the music industry decades ago when he was on top, and everybody could not understand why. That's telling me, when I showed that video that he just spoke, that man was sinister way back then. So way back then, he was mad sinister that Mase had the foresight to know, I got to get out of Dodge. So to me, he only became worse over the decades. Melanated Energy, before I close out, your thoughts?
I just wanted to say, right, I grew up from Mark 125, Harlem, with Diddy.
Come on.
Like, I remember when Heavy D, you know, Heavy D and the Boys. I remember, like, you know, all the way back then. Like, it's like I used to go on 25th Street when Diddy was in working at Mark 125 when he first started coming out. I remember all the way back then. I could recall when Craig Mack came out, Flavor in Your Ear. I was in junior high school. It was so hot. I just knew he was going to take off. He left. Heavy D gone. The whole thing at City College. I lived right down the block from City College. That's why he did that at City College, because it's right there in the heart of Harlem. I live right down the block. I didn't go to it because I was too young, and all those deaths happened. Then when he started like dropping all his artists and stuff like that, he had Biggie. He had the Locks. He had so many artists come out. Remember Carl Thomas? You know, oh my God, it was so great. Like, you know, just that Carl Thomas album was so fire. That was like the first album that I got in my first apartment. I used to blast crazy. And where's Carl Thomas at? You just saw Keith Murray. He's out here on drugs. All of Diddy artists are either on drugs, dead, or just like, you know, just broke real bad. The Locks was the only one that like really got back any type of like, you know, benefit from working with Diddy, because they was not, you know, down with that. Or I guess, you know, them strong arming him back. He probably could not like push back like he wanted to, because that's when he was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of his artists really got any benefits from working with him. This man been a creep, been a parasite on the music industry for far too long. Mm-hmm. Tupac and Biggie was like the worst. Like that changed like the whole mapping of the music industry, because they was very strong forces to be reckoned with. How did he get away with so much destruction for so long is beyond me. And it was not just here in the US. It was across seas. It looked like some type of CIA op, you know, control op. It's ridiculous. If you really follow the rabbit hole, you will see a whole lot more that's going on with him than what meets the eye. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, but okay, so Melanie, Angie, I didn't know you was from New York, around from the Bronx originally. So the thing is, when you go back to the story of Diddy, right, you see his dad, although he didn't know his dad because his dad died, was killed before, you know, he really got to really grow up with him, or whatever the case may be. His dad was connected to crime. I'll say it like that, right? So it's ironic in the way that ran in his blood, even though he wasn't raised by the dad. Yet his dad was a kingpin, right?
His mother was from them streets of Harlem. I'm from Harlem. It's a certain kind of, you know, force to be reckoned with, being a Black woman from Harlem from them days. Like a lot don't put fear. Like, and she raised him with them same ways, even though he was raised in Mount Vernon. He was really raised in Harlem because his mother's from Harlem. It's the whole, it's like a certain type of force to be reckoned with. I think his mother is what shaped him to be the way he is, but she also made sure he had a duality of being smart and from the streets, because he went to school, you know, but he left in 1 year.
So all of that is what I'm trying to say and connect with, right? So, but he said himself, when he would go back to the streets of Harlem, because he kept calling his name. Even though she moved and she tried to put him in the suburbs and try to leave that life behind because she wanted different for her son, he kept going back to Harlem. He said he ended up finding out who his father really was, because when he would be in the streets, the people would be like, we know who you are. You Combs. You see what I'm saying? So he had connections from birth, you might as well say.
Right.
And he utilized those connections, and he just happened to utilize them in a sinister way. So he was born into those connections, and then he built upon those connections, and then everybody that he surrounded himself with was in agreement with these sinister things that he was doing. When you do something on this level, you can't do it alone, and that's the same thing that happened with R. Kelly.
Right.
You cannot do something on that level alone. You're going to need help. Remember, he said in the little Rodney lawsuit, he would have them go with the cap on when they was somewhere and said bad boys on it. He said, when you go in there, they already going to know what's good. They're going to know I'm in town. They're going to know what's under the house. They're going to know what's going to go down, what we're going to get down. So where Diddy went wrong is several things. One, the underage girls. You should have been smarter than that, and at least started whatever state you was in, you deal with that age right there. If it's 17 is consent, deal with 17. Right? Where he also went wrong was he had a violent temper, and then in addition to that, he added the Bill Cosby to the situation. So my thing is, I have seen girls give up more for less. So I don't and there's people that do swingers parties and all of that. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole right now. But the only point I'm trying to make is, no matter how crazy or how sinister or how whatever he thought he wanted to do in the bedroom, because let's be clear, we all adults here. At some point, it ain't nothing new you're really going to be doing.
Right.
You do girl on girl, boy on boy, girl, boy, this, that, the other. But how much more new can you do? And there are enough people out there. I see you want to talk, Felicia, so I'm gonna let me finish this sentence. I'll let you talk. There's enough people out there that will be in agreement with this thing. Why do you have to take this thing to a sinister level and so left? Go ahead, Felicia.
Thank you, Diva. Hey, everybody. Good to be back. I don't agree with all that's being said here. And hey, Savannah girl, you was on point. You on point with that lawsuit from Lil Rod. Yeah, you are. I don't think it's that. I believe, from what I've been reading, this is all about the sex trafficking and pornography. I think this is where they got him. And I don't think many of us on this panel or in this chat really are in that dark space to know what really is. But I believe it's enough, and they're going to get him on that. Yeah.
I think you disconnected with us. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm not talking. I think the Cassie Ventura story, I think if her lawsuit had been it, and that was solely it in terms of what he did to her, but she was the first one that brought up the thing about him purchasing human beings, flying them in and out, live streaming the activities. If you recall, back in November when we were all talking about it, what do you mean there's candles? You're live streaming. Who are you live streaming to? And then the story gets built upon in terms of how he's bringing other people in, how he's hooking other people up with his live streams. So he probably more than likely grew that business, and he grew it very successfully. We get to the Little Rodney lawsuit, and he's talking about that man and that woman. Savannah, you probably remember their names, that he said was funding this operation. They were using the postal system. They were using wiretaps. They were using wire companies to move this money about and move out this material. So everything I've read so far says it's human trafficking and pornography.
Yeah.
But you know, actually, that's what they got the goods on them. Remember, because Cassie had that footage in her lawsuit.
Yes, she did. And remember, he showed her on that plane where he had promised he had deleted it, and he showed her he hadn't deleted it. And then I can't remember which other artist it was that told someone that he saw that footage of what Mr. Combs.
50 Cent. It was
50 Cent of what Mr. Combs was doing to Miss Ventura.
That is correct. That is correct. And they used the postal system to wire funding and other federal institutions. So this is all federal. So this is serious. They really are going to go after Sean Combs. So he's going to be hiding for quite a while.
No, they got him.
He's not.
They got him. They got him.
They got him.
They got him in Barbuda. They made the plane land in Barbuda. They went and they picked him up. They got him.
Why isn't that? Why I didn't see that anywhere.
That was where because he was on the plane and he was trying to make his way, and they landed in Barbuda. They got him in Barbuda. I guess that's where they holding him at. But my thing is, I said,
what is that? What's Barbuda?
Barbuda is the sister island of St. Kitts.
Yeah, I think
you mean Bermuda.
Barbuda. That's where I'm from. I'm from the same island. That's why it stuck in my head when they reported that that's where they landed his plane at. That's the island I'm from.
Okay, I can't listen. I'm not going to deny or confirm, but I'm just saying.
No, you don't got to confirm it. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I feel like if they would have picked up Diddy, it would be breaking news. I don't think they have him yet because, again, there's not anything about charges at this moment. They don't have the evidence. That is why they are in the home looking for the evidence, right? They got all these people saying this happened, that happened, this happened. They already knew that this stuff was out there because of Cassie. That's what I'm trying to say to y'all. This is not anything new. They're going this route of the porn, of the sex trafficking, of the this, of the that, because they already know this other stuff, but they cannot prove it, right? So I know, yeah, is porn bad? Yeah, but I think unaliving somebody is worse, but that's just me, right? So my thing is, yeah, and then a lot of this porn or whatever the case may be, it is not, all of it is not involving people that were not in agreement with it. So y'all got to understand that a lot of these tapes, and I'm about to close this out soon. I'm supposed to do Potomac tonight. A lot of these tapes are involving, like the Epstein and what's the Weinstein, it's involving people that were totally part of these parties. And so they have to be strategic on what they do because there are some big names and people that were involved with these parties, wanted to be, and they're on these tapes too, right? So I just can't go, well, I'm going to pick up Diddy and blame Diddy for everything. And I'm just going to make up a name. And I see some other, matter of fact, I won't say no names because I got names in my head. And I see all these other stars in these tapes too. So I'm going to say, oh, only Diddy's responsible. And I see 25 other stars in the tapes. Come on now, they can't do that. So what I'm saying is that they are going there, they're gathering evidence, and they're trying to see how can we package this thing up where we save all of these other people, and it ain't really about them, and I'll make a name up. It ain't really about them saving no Beyonce and Jay-Z. It's about them saving those top, what do you call it, political people, this one, that one, and the other. This man was connected to everybody, and they loved him. And they loved him because These type of parties go on all day, all the time, on a regular basis. The problem with Diddy is he took it to a whole nother sinister level. This been going on. These people, they do these orgies, they do these parties, they get sex workers, they get prostitutes, they get underage girls. They do it all the time. If they didn't, it wouldn't have been the Weinstein and the Epstein. They did planes, jets, and all of that too. The people was getting on the private jets, flying to his island, and they was doing whatever to these girls. So this is not anything so new and out there. Is it messed up? Is it crazy? Is it wire fraud? Yeah, they got all of that. But they have to figure out how they're going to do this. Why? Because those tapes, they involve others. And the others, some of the others, they actually care about and don't want to take those people down. So how do they get Diddy, wrap Diddy up with this, and he takes the whole fall for everything, even if they got to take some of his kids with them, which is messed up. But they're strategic now. So they're going there to see what can we find. And I bet you, but this is just me talking, I don't know fact, I bet you some tapes that may have others on it, they may accidentally get lost and destroyed if they find them there. And the tapes that just have the people that look like Diddy and me probably won't get destroyed. This thing is huge. And my thing is, I get the man off the street. I don't care to be right, but I'm telling you what I heard and how I heard it and the way they're trying to package this thing up, because unfortunately, this ain't just about Diddy. It's so many other people involved. Over there on Star Island where he lives, how many people you think live over there that look like Diddy? Not many. Over there, with all the properties and everything where he lives, it's the ultra uber rich. And if they were so tired, because you see, they was tired of Rick Ross and they complained. They were so tired of Diddy. We never heard until Cassie came with her lawsuit and everything else. You never heard them complaining about all them people off and on that island, the parties that happened all night long, because half of them was there. So it's a matter of now, what can we go there and get? How do we get it? How do we take down who we need to take down? And everybody don't take the fall. Just like to this day, the black book they promised us that was going to come out in January 2024 with the Epstein, the Weinstein, whatever, we never saw it. We never saw it. And so they already knew about Diddy, right? And so if you come and tell us all the Diddy business, so they trying to play with our mind, right? You come and tell us all the Diddy business, but y'all hid the black book from the Weinstein and the Epstein. That ain't right. But they told us, this ain't Diva making it up. They told us January 2024, we was going to see that list in that book. Has anyone seen it? And we're not going to. Because they're not going to expose those people. And they will never let those people go down. But the black brothers and sisters, if you brown and you was with Diddy, you better hold on to your seatbelt. Hold on tight. Because when they finish putting this thing together and packaging it up, most of Black Hollywood is going to go down. And they're going to protect, and they may throw a few others in there, a few that they don't care about that's going to have to be a sacrificial lamb. But they ain't going to take all of them down.
You better talk, Diva.
Come on now, because listen, they talking politicians. He had people in the police department. How many chief of police you know look like us? He had somebody in the court where they claimed that little Rodney's case was settled, and they was like, little Rodney case wasn't settled. I'm telling y'all for a fact, one of the cases I tried to download one day, it said it was corrupted. This man had people high, low, and everything in between. He's been running this operation for decades. There are people that said my car blew up. The one with the lady said with the eye, she said for 24 years, this man harassed her. People having accidents. A plastic surgeon happened to drive off the road on the area where he lived his whole, come on now. I'm just saying that this thing is so deep Is it a RICO charge? Is it a porn charge? Or what? Yeah, they whatever they saying. I won't disagree with that, but I'm saying it's bigger than that. Because they already know all the people that are involved, and they trying to see who's going to take the fall. How can we package this up? And how can we package it up so everybody not trying to call foul play and bias on us because we didn't do all of that to Epstein and Weinstein? Epstein and Weinstein went down alone. They're not trying to take Diddy down alone. They naming other names, and they naming other big names, and the other names that they naming, they look black and brown.
Okay, Cuba.
That part.
Diva, I have one question, and I just want to throw this out there to see if anybody think that this might be connected to Clarence Avant's wife being murdered.
You don't say that on Unalive. Who is that?
Unalive.
Who is that?
He's the original Motown. He was like the ground, he was like the starter of it before everybody. Him and his wife before, like he was the one that paid for it. Yeah, Avant, A-V-A-N-T, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, his
The
wife.
Black
Remember?
Godfather.
Oh, you talking about when
the Black Godfather, yeah.
Yeah,
they ran up on her.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I think that this started from there where he took all bets off the table because it was getting too reckless. I think so. I don't know why. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I really do think it ties back to that.
I forgot about him. That random robbery. I forgot about him. It's a lot of.
Tell me something, Melanated. Was he part of the Black Mafia family?
He was the only black guy in the Italian mafia that was moving and shaking or whatever from the story I heard. And that's where Motown was funded and created, was from him. Like he's like the top. And for when his wife got taken out.
We're talking about Detroit.
When his wife got taken out.
No.
That was so random. You know, it was too random. And they said it was supposed to be some, random robbery, whatever. It was crazy. But I think that's where everything started from.
But she's not talking about the BMF, not Big Meech and Terry.
No, because Jane Doe, who keeps coming up in these articles here today, her story comes out of Detroit.
Oh no, he is all over. He was a very influential businessman, older gentleman now. He just recently passed away. I think he was in his late 70s. But anyway, yes, he's called a Black Godfather because through business ties within the music industry, if you wanted to connect, especially early on, or even still to his death, you could connect with Clive Davis. You could connect with Berry Gordy. He was supposedly part of the funding for building Motown, even though he is not from Detroit. I think he's from somewhere here in the South, but his home was in LA. See pictures with him. He's a background dude. He's not a foreground dude. He is a business person that is very good at networking Black folks to white money.
I forgot about that.
And what do you think, Leo? Is it possible he's the third assailant?
No.
Okay.
That ain't his groove.
No.
Okay. That ain't his groove.
I forgot. You helped me. I forgot. And the other piece I'm gonna throw out here, and we're gonna have to stay connected to this story and probably come back and we could do a whole nother full piece. I forgot. Clive Davis actually spoke out after the Cassie situation, and because he gives that pre-Grammy party every year, and every year because it's a digital invitation, and every year prior to the Cassie lawsuit, Diddy was all over the digital invitation. And y'all could Google this because y'all know I don't deal with nothing to his mainstream. He was all over the digital invitation. After the lawsuit started coming against Diddy, Clive Davis said he's still invited. And when the digital invitation came out, they was like, where is he? He wasn't all over it, but there was a picture of Diddy within that invitation. So why am I bringing that up? This man is also Clive Davis, allegedly also was part of these freak offs. So my thing is,
he got him started with the freak offs, Steve.
Right. So my thing is, but you see how he didn't abandon him though. You see, everybody else, they stood clear of Diddy once he got starting to get accused. They dealt with the Cassie a little bit, but they was calling him Sinister because all of the things that Cassie said he did. But everybody was backing away. I'm telling you, in the midst of everybody backing away, Clive Davis did not totally drop him on the ground. And why is that? Because Clive Davis and his peeps are connected to these FOs.
And he's saying, I'm still with you. Don't call my name when you get investigated, and don't get me implicated, because I ain't never turned my back on you.
There you go, boom.
But guess what? I got a game changer for that one. Did you hear what happened at that Grammy party about the men that was there with the with the random rounds that was let out at the party? He had men waiting there. I believe it. There was a this guy who was that lit up the room, because I know you don't want me to use certain words. He lit up his room, and they said, "Oh, it was an accident."
Really?
Like a Christmas tree.
I think that's the same incident that Lil Rod was speaking of.
No, but she's talking about this year. I didn't hear that.
I'm talking about Clive Davis saying Diddy's still invited to the Grammy party, and that there was all these LAPDs that went up in that hotel, and because the man lit up that room like a Christmas tree after Clive, he's still invited.
But you're talking about this year, though, right?
Yeah, the Grammy party. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Listen, I just, it's a lot. We're going to stay connected. And I will say this. Clive Davis never dropped him. Stay connected with that and think about that. Wherever he's at is not really in hiding because there's no charges yet. But he's somewhere. But my thing is, you let your kids take the hit, you messy. And they can't take him until they charge him. You got to have some charges. And he definitely, because they said his routine, he would have been handcuffed if he was there. But this thing is about, are there charges? And we're going to stay connected and time will tell. Listen, guys, all I can say is Diddy's going down. 2024 is his year, the year of exposure. I just pray with everything in me that these kids don't take the hit. But the kids need this thing to go down before before December, their birthday. I don't really know how that works. Because in their birthday, they turn 18 in December. And I don't need them going down. It's a shame. But I do believe, because people are maybe going to feel a little bit safer, I do believe when they get him, and if he is convicted and he goes behind for decades or years, then I believe that more people will come out and start speaking. I can't wait to see if Suge Knight does a collect call about Diddy houses being raided. But anyway, guys, listen, I'm out. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you did not hit the like button coming in, please hit the like button coming out. CNN has new news coming up, new details coming up. Is it coming up now? I'll check real quick. I'll peek real quick.
All right. Good night, Diva.
Good night.
Do not treat the diva always straight down. Thank you.
Okay, let me just see if CNN has any breaking news on Diddy. Sean Combs, California, and Florida hosts raided Homeland Security, tells CNN. I don't see anything new yet on, let me do YouTube CNN. Let me do CNN. Diddy. Diddy home raided. No, I don't see anything new on CNN yet. Everything is old, so maybe it's coming through later. If it comes through, I'll come through, but I don't see nothing new yet. Diddy's going down. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Good night and goodbye. Hit the like button.
Bye.
Bye.